Hillhayes means hedged enclosure on the hill. As you can see, it's a little bit higher than the village over here. And this is where we are here in the corner of the field. The footpath goes up the edge of the field with a lovely hedge along it. I'm going to have a good look at that. And then it joins the actual Hillhayes today, and there's no indicator that the hedges are what they were when it was first called the Hayes, but it touches the corner of that enclosure. We can have a good look at these two hedges and see if there's anything. Well, there's an apple in there for starters. That's a good indicator that it's not recent, but it's nicely trimmed, which is not a good sign. But what I'm really looking for is a hedge like a long woodland, long and thin woodland, something like that, a lot more untidy. So we have a crab apple. So you can see the haws on that, and remember what I said about the leaves last time. So that's a hawthorn. That's a wild rose. That looks to me like privet. Yes, your garden hedge does grow wild. I think it is privet. It's a bit of a long leaf. Then we have hazel. I'm not sure what that is, but we do have, look, yeah, that's ash. So species number 5. I don't know what that is. Answers on a postcard, please. Species number 6. That is the slach in Old English, the sloe in Modern English. It is edible, but a bit bitter as hell. Tart, I would call it. So species number 6. Species number 7. Right, I'm going to get beaten up on the comment section, aren't I? I'm going to call that a sycamore, but I've got a feeling it's a maple. Oh hell, it's not a massive tree. Anyway, that's species number 7. Tell me which, you experts out there, tell me which one it is. So if you don't already know, if you add up the number of species in a hedge and multiply it by 110 and then add 30 to the end, you'll get the date of that hedge if you believe Hooper, who it's named after, the Hooper method. So that makes this 800 years old. If you believe it. And I had a bit of a shock when Tim Cousins, the local historian for Kington Langley, told me that my dating of the hedge next to Draycott Cerns Park, I gave a date of 1445. Apparently that's when the Longs moved in to the estate, and they're the ones that set up the park. And I had one of those shocking, the universe is slapping me across the face and saying listen. And it's at this point I'm starting to doubt myself. You see, it goes in multiples of 110. So how did I manage to do this? What forces were at work that made me decide to do it this year and not any other year? And it's I can't believe it. But there you go. Oh, another aspect of the Hooper method, you can't just date any old hedge. You've got to have some sort of historical estimate or really old name that then gives you the permission to date the hedge, and then you can narrow down that date. That's the theory. Now, I don't have a date for this, but it's using the word Hayes, which is a medieval word. It's still in use, but we don't know what it means, do we? Unless you follow channels like mine. So another thing worth mentioning, there were 2 species in there I didn't know what they were. So I thought I knew everything. I'm a country boy, but I don't. And it's the more I do this sort of thing, the better I get. The more research I do, the more I expose myself to the countryside. It's the better I get at it. But pretty much everything not everything, about 50% of what I know is what I've discovered since lockdown, the coronavirus lockdown. It's when I started to go intensively out into the country for exercise. And yeah, you too can do this if you want to. Even if you may not be an historian or Archaeologian, you may be just into plants and the countryside. It's worth doing. That's probably medieval. It's got a green tinted glaze on it. There's another piece there. This is the sort of long, thin woodland that I'm talking about. That actually is actually a hedge, but gives an impression of being a woodland. So see the berry, and you should find a thorn or 2 on it. There's a thorn there. That's a sloe. Field maple. Right next to the maple, hawthorn. So that's 3. I've forgotten what that is, but number 4. I think that's a cherry, but it's species number 5 anyway. If it is. Oh, is it a cherry? No, I'm not sure it is. I don't know what it is. Oh, it's got, can that be sweet? It's the wrong colour for sweet chestnut. What on earth are you? Could be a type of cobnut, but yeah, that's a good idea. Have a look at the wood. I think it might be. Yeah, it might be cobnut hazel. It might be. Oh God, I don't know. I'm making a fool of myself today. Anyway, 5. Or is it 4? It's 4, isn't it? It is 4. Number 5, ash. Now, as you can see, we're on the edge of the farm. There's the barn over there. So there is a high probability that farmers every now and again bring a couple of fruit trees or some decorative trees to put on the edge of their near their farmhouse. So it is quite dodgy doing it here, I think. But anyway, 580 years old, I think. That's a nice piece. It probably won't show up, but I can feel a groove along there, like a hand has smoothed the edge there as they've turned it on the wheel. No idea. Actually, you might be able to see the profile there. No idea date, but there you go. I like that. There's an inclusion there. Shell, I think. That might be the same pot. Oop. Oh, there's another piece there. Oh. From the amount of pottery I'm getting, it's a nice bit of rim. You can say definitely people have lived here for a long time. Can't say much more than that, but there you go. much more modern. That is a ford and a bridge over the Corrisbrook, which is Goresbrook today, and Corrisbrook is Old English, so that's pre-1066, pre-1200, and that will be featuring in my waffle later on. That name, it comes up in more than one charter around here. That is Haywood's Piece, and somewhere around here in the Anglo-Saxon charter of Brokenborough S1577 you will find a landmark called Haiwardes Hamme, the enclosure or meadow near that belongs to the Haywood, which is the supervisor of the hay. This is a hedge next to it on a public footpath, though neither the public footpath is trodden out nor marked. It's on the map coming along that hedge here, so there should be an entrance into the field over here. Now if I was a ninja I'd get through that gap there, but there's been a couple of missing gaps in hedges. I've had to take diversions, which I'm unapologetic about, because the farmer should be maintaining the styles and so on, but he can't blame me for having to take a diversion. But anyway, there's Haywood's Piece, so we're going to have a look at some of the species. I don't even know where the pathway is. What I was going to say is like 15 yards either side of the, do it by sight, but you know, I've got to look for the entrance into the next field anyway, so let's start here. The arsen oak, the ancient symbol of kingship in England, the royal oak. Blackthorn, the sloe. Hawthorn. And right next to it again we've got our friend the field maple, hazel, wild rose, and then the ash 7. I can't see any more. So that's 800 years old, which is again very impressive, placing it in the medieval period where I was expecting it. You see, after that business with that parkland in Draycott, I'm starting to ask how much bias is there in this. I choose where I want to go. I already have an idea of how old it's going to be. I don't have a complete knowledge of woody species in our hedgerows, and I choose where I go and what time of year, so there are an awful lot of variables that are And I also choose which 30 yard section to walk along. So all of which, I mean, there's a hell of a lot of potential for bias there. And of course I want to show you something, impressive. I do have my a safeguard against that. I also have a pleasure in watching things go hideously wrong, and the perversity to shout about, you know, look at this, look how badly that went. And so I have a sense of humour basically, so there is a safeguard against that. So failure is often as interesting as success. For me, some people can't bear it, and I know that's one of the reasons why some people are much richer than I am. But anyway, onwards and upwards.